You are listening to the Park Flyer Podcast, where we discuss our RC adventures.
Welcome to the Park Flyer Podcast, where we discuss the ups and downs of the new RC Flyer. Join your hosts, Michael and Jay, as they take flight at the park. Now on with the show.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Park Flyer Podcast. I'm Michael from Arizona, and with me always are my good friends,
Jay from the hills of Texas.
And AK Mike from Texas.
And we have a special guest,
Spencer from Phoenix.
Yeah, there you go.
Ooh.
Spencer's joining us today. It has been a
He
while.
does exist.
He does.
It's true.
I noticed that we're never in the same place at the same time. I thought that was kind of...
a year,
That's true.
like that.
Exactly. Yeah, it has been. So, well, we are officially at the Arizona Electric Festival. We're live here on the field with everybody putting out their airplanes. There's some really great looking airplanes today. I don't know if there's any big surprises, though.
Well, Big Mike's got a really interesting plane. I guess it's been on YouTube or he's been posting stuff about it.
Has he?
Yeah, it's got quite a few colors.
It does. He got the new Motion RC, what is that, the 737 look.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And he decided to paint it in multicolor No Scheme, I think is what he called it.
Yeah, No Scheme. I like it, yeah.
It's called the No Scheme Airlines.
I asked him, how'd you come up with this? And he goes, I just closed my eyes and started painting. Okay, well.
La, 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 la.
It's whatever rattle can I had behind me. I just closed my eyes.
I ran out of blue, so I started with green.
That's right.
It's fine.
And actually, it doesn't look too bad. I mean, it's not like a rainbow, kind of blotchy thing. It actually mixes pretty well, so it looks good. And then, Spencer, what'd you bring out today?
Gaggle of Motion RC stuff, and then Extreme Flight 60-inch.
Yeah, which you were just flying, which was pretty amazing. We just saw that. Got my A10 up and running finally. We found the problem. It was a bunch of satellites.
There's your problem.
Yeah, well, there's your problem. And so we got that out. We got the F-15, the L-39, a couple of fun racers that Mike brought one of his in.
So what's the final verdict?
About
satellites or the Cortex?
No, it was
satellites.
The satellites, but the
both.
Cortex burned up too, I think. So.
The Cortex won't power up at all.
I think they took them down, yeah.
It's hard to know for sure, but that Cortex wouldn't even come up.
Yeah,
it wouldn't take power.
Nope.
Unless something went through it where it wiped everything out.
It could have. Something could have gone through, but I don't know because I was flying it one day and then the next day it was like
So
dead.
is the escape that powers that stuff, is it still working? Or
Yep.
I just want to correct that. It's ESC.
ESC.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, see, so...
Oh, wow.
Come on, Spencer, jump in there. I know you want to poke him in the eye.
I'm being nice.
I did it for
Maybe
you, man.
right before you leave.
I was already saying, that's only going to last for an hour, folks.
I know. It's a rough crowd. So.
It is a rough crowd today, but we are excited. So it's going to be a full, fun 3 days. We actually arrived yesterday and kind of got set up and did some flying, maiden in a bunch of airplanes. We've got a lot of interesting people here this year. We think we have a couple of good interviews lined up with some really cool people. And I think we're going to get Shannon here on shortly and talk to him about what he's got planned. So before our pilot meeting, we'll grab him. But live from the Arizona Festival, we are on our way out, and let's go to the flight line and have some fun.
Sounds good.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Let's fly.
Welcome back to the Park Flyer Podcast. It's Friday morning. We are here with Shannon Gallagher, the president of the club and also the contest director for the Arizona Electric Festival. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. So glad to have you guys back all in one spot.
I know, right?
Right, yeah.
And all three of us here this year. So.
Yes.
Last year we were missing Mr. Neely, and he finally showed up. So, well, what's on the docket for today? You got big plans.
Today, well, obviously the weather is amazing. We could not ask for better weather than what's up and out there right now. I mean, a little light breeze, sunny. It's just amazing. We got planes in the air right behind me.
That's true.
That's true.
That's all I can ask for. That's all I can ask for. But this is a really cool year. We have a really cool thing. I got a phone call from this company called Sunny Energy. Said, hey, we've got this solar generator, and we'd like to let you use it for the weekend. I'm like, oh, okay. We usually rent a generator. We spend a lot of money on the big generator. And so we talked, and he brought it out and hooked the thing up. It was running like a champ yesterday. We're charging it back up to run it the rest of the weekend, but it's saving us about $700.
Nice.
Wow. That's awesome.
So $700 I don't have to spend of the club's money.
Right.
Right.
And then so as all of our events go towards our club, and we don't make
Yeah,
any
because
money.
how many events do you guys usually throw a year.
We do about a dozen.
Yeah, so
of various sizes. This is by far the biggest.
Right.
By all means, this is our biggest.
But
event.
I'm just saying, over the course of if you do a dozen events, 10 to a dozen events times 700, 800, boom, that's a huge saving.
Well, we don't usually rent that. We only rent it for this event just because of it's electric and everyone's charging their batteries.
Gotcha.
So that's the main reason why. Everything else we have a generator, but that's been the coolest thing, and they're out here promoting their thing. So I'm all happy. I think it's just a really cool thing because we're electric this event. So
I talked to the guy yesterday. It's on a trailer. It's got solar panels. It's pretty amazing.
Batteries.
It can put out almost like 50 amps. So
yeah.
It
was put out over 50 amps a little while ago.
Was it?
Yeah,
I bet because everybody was charging.
So.
Everybody's like trying to beat their feet to the flight line. So, well, what about vendors?
So we have our usuals. Northwest RC. They always come out of a great booth. Superstition Hobbies, one of our local hobby shops. APower RC. We've got Roaring Top Batteries out here. Pat Gagnon representing them. Electron Movers. He makes the ESR meters and some great power supplies. We have APower Batteries, which is a new vendor this year.
Yeah,
that's really cool. So giving Roaring Top a little run for their money on so to speak. But
I actually own both of those batteries. I own an APower and a Roaring Top. So I can compare them later.
There you go. There you go. We got Motion RC, Critical RC. The list goes on. We've got a bunch of vendors out here. Another cool thing is the ASU robotics team. My daughter goes to ASU Poly High School here in the Valley. Their robotics team compete in the first FRC competition. They're going to have a little booth out here. They're going to be working on their robot, demonstrating one of their working robots, and having a little raffle just to raise some money. So,
wow, that's pretty amazing too.
Yeah.
Well, it's good that you're getting your kids involved, even if it's robotics.
It's all the same, I gave them a servo. I'm like, they're like, we need to do this. I go, well, use a servo, and it plugs right into the thing they've got. And they're like, oh, well, we didn't know that. I'm like, well,
welcome to the world of RC. That's amazing.
Figure it out.
Are there any big surprises this year? I see a couple of large-scale airplanes here. One of them is truly amazing.
Yeah, so Brent Hecht from California has brought out his amazing, I don't know what scale it is.
So I think it's a 1/5 scale.
Yeah, so it's a 1/5 scale T-38 Talon done up in Edwards test colors and handmade. Brett does all his stuff like that, handmade.
Wow.
It's amazing. It flies so realistic, sounds realistic.
Really?
He's actually doing part of our noon show. He's a big draw for that.
Well, good.
Yeah. So
I think Big Mike has the Cessna 14-foot Cessna.
Yeah,
out today,
Big Mike brought out the big Cessna, but he forgot the awesome cockpit.
Yeah, I know.
That's a bummer.
He told us he was going to drive back to California last night and all the way back here just for the cockpit.
Oh my
we talked him out of it.
Yeah.
We tackled him.
It would have been 21 hours.
All three of us tackled him.
Yeah, we held him down.
I mean, I just drove back from California, a couple weeks ago, and doing like a quick turnaround. Like I would not want them.
Yeah, it's a long drive, especially late at night and all night long. So we talked him out of it. Told him that it's a beautiful flyer, and people aren't going to see the pilot waving as he goes by.
Well, I told him to say it was repoed. And
that's a great idea. That's a good story. I like that story, Shannon.
Yeah. Okay, we're sticking with that story.
Yeah, okay. Don't tell anybody.
So
nope. Well,
it was on repo.
Everybody knows.
Yeah, the airplane repo show was on there.
Okay, there you go.
It got stolen. So,
the airplane got stolen. Everything got taken out.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes
including
sense.
the pilot.
Including the pilot got repoed.
He's
the pilot's
kidnapped.
in prison.
He's getting 4 to 8.
Yeah, he do.
Chino.
But he's got 3 hots on the cot.
I saw that. That's right. I saw that movie. Yeah, he's probably doing service at the local community. That's what American made.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, what else? We got some food vendors here as well, right?
Yeah, so we have our usual Gary's Desert Dogs. Tomorrow we're gonna have tacos and Middle Eastern, little fusion there.
There you go.
We've also got our MF coffee. Katie's over there serving some amazing coffee. If you haven't had any,
cool.
Give it a shot. And then got the smoothie and icy guy. I think we're getting the funnel cake guy. He hasn't shown up yet. But
Ooh, funnel cake.
Funnel cake.
It's really good.
Well, now you know
he
it's a
came
party.
last year, I think, right?
So
he was a big hit last year.
We're waiting to see if he shows up. So
well, you never know.
It's funny. We book all these food vendors and they kind of maybe I'll show up, maybe I won't. It's like really, come on, guys.
Right.
Well, I'm thinking first thing in the morning, coffee, funnel cake.
That's breakfast.
Oh, that is.
And then lunchtime, funnel cake. And then dinner, funnel cake.
Yeah. Well, I'm just thinking, thank goodness I'm an adult. I can do this.
Yeah, right. I'm an adult really hard today.
Well, it appeases my 8-year-old inner self. Because I mean, if I could have done that when I was 8 years old, I was the man.
Yeah, I would have done
the
that.
man
at
50. But hey, I'm hip.
Well, we once again are joining Shannon Gallagher here at the Arizona Electric Festival. This is year 16 for the festival.
I like that
16 for the event.
16.
Sweet 16. It's
like
the fifth
that.
year of me running it. I can't believe that.
There you go.
That's amazing.
But we got new faces.
Yeah.
That's for me. That's exciting to see new people show up.
Sure.
As much as we talk about it online,
Right.
we're all our RC groups and Facebook. We get a lot of traffic from that. But even better is all the return. Everyone comes back.
Yeah, that's true.
Some people that weren't here last year. Like Joe Poorhammer. He's a long time. Him and his son used to come all the time, and I could write a book about them.
Right.
They're great guys. He wasn't here last year, and I was kind of worried. And then all of a sudden, he pops up yesterday. I was like, "Oh, Joe, you didn't even tell me you were coming." I want to surprise you. So definitely surprised.
Well, we actually, believe it or not, have a couple of surprises coming in today too. We've got some people from out of town that are coming to visit, so we'll have to introduce you when they get here.
Oh, great.
We did a podcast from out in North Carolina at the Holly Springs Radio Control Society, and their president decided to come out and grace us with his presence. So he'll be here later on in the day. So it'll be good.
We'll have a presidential debate.
That's right.
Yeah.
We have a presidential debate.
2 men enter, 1 man leaves. That's the kind of debate I want.
We actually have the orange things out there. We can just throw them in a box and have them. Exactly. So the noontime show is tomorrow, and you have some pretty exciting things going on.
Yeah, we do. So our noontime show is always a big draw.
Sure,
probably
for the
biggest
public
draw
too,
for
I
it.
think,
right? Tomorrow we should have huge crowds with the weather and the publicity we got going on. One of our longest club members passed away recently, a guy named Luther Peters. We're doing a little memorial flight. He loved the old timers, the old high wing,
right.
goofy looking planes, but they fly amazing. So doing a little tribute for that. So that was
cool.
really special. We wanted to do that. Vendor demos up the wazoo, that's for sure.
Yeah, there you go. That's always exciting.
Jet gaggle, World War II gaggle, EF1 demonstration, EF1 race demonstration, and the ever popular combat.
There you go.
Gotcha. So explain what. So it used to be all slow sticks, but what's the? But slow sticks are getting hard to find. So what does it involve?
So what we did is, and it probably didn't quite get the legs I expected on it yet, but another event we had done this past year was called Taking Flight. And they had done it with mainly the flight test, the tiny trainers, and all of the cardboard foam built planes, and the cost is pretty negligible, and it's a lot of fun. So I was kind of pushing people, hey, let's go out and get a bunch of these, and we'll kind of get away from destroying slow sticks that are they were hard to come by. Now they're a little easier. I guess someone's making them again. So
good.
But they were kind of dwindling. So, and we've never really said, it can only be a slow stick. It's not like it's a scale competition. Whatever you want to bring.
Slow stick scale. I'm in the SS class of slow stick.
I've got the Iron Cross on my tail.
That's right.
I'm so scale.
I've got my 172nd pilot up there flying a slow stick.
I'm a purist.
Awesome.
Only stick.
Oak stick.
That's right.
None of that aluminum crap.
Yeah. You guys know.
I grew the tree for this one.
or even worse, carbon.
Yeah. I know mine actually carbon. So. Well, this year we were excited. We, since Jay was coming out, and we got a little bit of a jump on this year. I didn't have to repair a bunch of airplanes before I showed up. I did all that previous.
Just now that you're here, you have to.
Yeah, now that I'm here, we're making some stuff. But anyway, he dug through my closet and got the slow stick out because he's like, we're doing that this year, So we've got a slow stick for combat. And the other thing we forgot last year was the little UMX gaggle stuff. So we actually got a couple of UMXs to go fly today.
T28 or something.
Yeah, we did. We brought out a couple of fun racers for the pylon stuff. They're super fast and fun to fly. So we're looking forward to meeting a lot of the new faces and seeing a lot of the old faces that we have around here.
I've been walking around just shaking hands and getting
I'm really surprised how many people have come up to us, just as a podcast. This is our 5th year covering the event. I think we've been here 6 or 7 years actually as participants, but it's kind of neat that people are starting to realize that we're here and we're a part, and they're like, hey, how's it going? I had a guy just listen to, he came up, he's a brand new listener. Hey, I listened to your podcast. It was actually pretty good. I was like, great. It sucked.
That's one. That's one. There we go.
So we got one guy who's approved. So.
We got two.
Yeah, we doubled our listening group with Shannon and Harry.
Yeah, well, I actually got feedback from when we did the preview. People were like, hey, that was pretty cool. We're looking forward to it now.
Good. Well, good. Well, we love to participate. We are 100% behind you and love to come out and cover the event. Unfortunately, our T-38 is going to go up, and we are all going to go out to the flight line and watch.
Yes,
that
we are.
So we know you're busy. Would love to chat with you again when this event's over. But for now, we're going to release you to go do your presidential duties and let you go out there.
Thank you very much, guys. Like I said, it's a pleasure having you out
here. Well, that's a contest director / president, and you've done a great job. Actually, to be honest with you, I've been out to about 4 events so far. Over the last year since you've taken over, and they have been spectacular.
Well,
so
thank you very much.
Nothing less this year. If unfortunately this podcast comes out after this event's over, but you know what? If you didn't come this year, make sure you come next year. Make sure you stick your hand out and shake Shannon Gallagher's hand. He does a great job. If you want to give kudos to your staff.
Oh my gosh, Pat Gagnon! I could not do this without Pat Gagnon. He's my right hand man. Rick Huerta, vendor and sponsor coordinator, which he's really gone above and beyond this year. I mean, we have a lot more sponsors than we've had in recent years. They came out of the woodwork. Like, I'm just getting emails left and right. Hey, we want to sponsor. Hey, we want to come out. I'm like, hallelujah! You guys finally realize how cool this thing is.
Yeah.
So
fantastic.
And then also. Who else? Oh, Matt Ventura is my registration guy.
He was working hard yesterday.
He was watching people put up lights. And then I saw
him roped into helping
rock solid.
Yeah. So. I think he held the ladder once.
Yeah, he does. He'll do everything.
Awesome. So
thanks a lot, guys, for coming out. You're a huge part of this, and it just all works.
We love it.
We love it for sure.
We
Perfect.
Do, so.
All right. Well, let's go fly.
All right. Sounds good.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. We're here on the first day of the event, and guess what? I'm minding my own business. I think I don't owe anybody any money, and I get a tap on my shoulder, and I turn around, and I'm like, who is this guy? He looks like he wants something. Oh, I know who he is. It's Doug.
That's
what the heck are you doing here, Doug? Fantastic.
When you don't know where you're going and you turn left at Albuquerque, you end up at the Arizona Electric Festival.
That makes sense.
Oh, my gosh.
I think it's a left from Albuquerque.
It depends on which way you're coming, I guess.
It does. That's true. We are sitting here with Doug LeRoy, right from the Holly Springs Radio Control Group, decided to grace his presence. Big secret. At least until Mike let it out of the bag.
Except for Jay generally seems surprised. So he either did a really good job faking or...
That's right. Well, he made the long trek out, thanks to special kudos to his wife who let him out of the house, right? And
she
then
did.
Said,
I told her I was going to the store. I'll be back on Sunday.
I'm getting some cigarettes.
I don't even smoke.
I don't think he even smoked.
I couldn't find the right kind
awesome.
of honey. That's why I'm back
am I
on
dropping
Sunday.
you off the airport for cigarettes?
I'm going to the store. I'll be back on Sunday. I've heard that story before. I think there's a song about that. Well, welcome to sunny Arizona. I hope the weather here is much better than where you came from.
It is.
Yeah? That's excellent.
We were having a lot of rain and tornadoes.
Really?
Ooh.
Yeah.
No fun.
That's not good.
Yeah.
Well, this is your first electric festival, right?
Yes.
Okay. And unfortunately, we grabbed him like as soon as he walked through the door. So he's been here all of about 5 minutes, maybe.
And I've already flown once.
Flown?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that's fantastic. And he's registered now, and we got a whole.
I'm official.
He is official. I guess we should have done that first.
I got my bib.
Probably so.
My bib and my number.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now you're good.
Now they're going to know who to yell at.
These guys were so accommodating. Just because he knew me, they were going to let him in for free.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said, don't I need to pay something?
And Matt's
He's like, oh, yeah.
Come on in. You're a friend of Jay's. You come on in. I made him pay double.
I feel like the story is probably a little different than that. I feel like the story was probably like, this is double. You got to pay double.
That's probably what it was. He's going to charge us after everybody left. Hey, man, you know those guys that let him for free? You owe me money for those guys.
Exactly.
Chase you down. Well, we are excited you're here. We love the fact that you kind of came out and going to hang out with us for today and tomorrow, right? So that'll be good. You'll have to give us, your comments on what you think of this festival, and I don't know how many other festivals you've been, but this is something we've done for many years.
It's an impressive air park here. This is
it's pretty nice. Huh?
More asphalt than I've ever seen at a model
No
field.
kidding?
Wow.
Well, too
if
bad
you can't hit this runway.
Too bad you weren't going to be here till
you shouldn't say that.
Well, I landed it with the slow stick, so
yeah, that's
you. We had a little incident yesterday. Somebody among us
won't mention any names.
Oh, okay.
His name starts with Mike, though.
His initials are Alaska Mike. Yeah, Mike actually took a turn on the L39, and
I was doing okay.
You're doing great.
Okay.
And, just right up until the last 10 seconds.
Those hay fever medicine kicked in.
That's right.
I fell asleep.
I feel a little woozy, guys.
I fell asleep right there at the stick.
Anyway, so today the L39 gets to fly with this gear down. So
Okay.
Yeah. What's it? They're doing the Freewing T33 gaggle, I think, is what they're doing.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're all gonna get out there. This is a good thing about this place, Doug, is that everybody's got similar airplanes. They'll do these gaggles where everybody will go out with just T33s, or everybody go out with L39s, or you just missed it, but they just had the new Motion RC airliner. They just had how many of those? 5 of them in
at
there?
least.
Yeah, at least 5 or 6 of them in
least.
there. And all different paint schemes, so they're pretty amazing. You can
Yeah.
walk around the flight line and see them all. So it's exciting.
We even have
to
a
hear.
no scheme one.
Yeah, it's
over
that's the what do we call
No
it?
Scheme
The,
logo.
No Scheme Airlines.
Yeah, no scheme airlines.
Like fresh out of the box. It's just
No scheme.
no,
It's
it's,
like see it over there. It's
see the
green
green
and
tail?
red.
Oh
and
yeah,
blue.
yeah. Okay.
Although I did tell my Big Mike that his looks a lot like Ethiopian Airways.
Okay.
They do have an airplane that's painted very similar. It's not the same, obviously, but it does have a green tail.
They
and
just used rattle cans on it.
yeah, there's rattle cans. No, I think they could afford a little more than rattle cans. But the funny part is Rick was out there with his Southwest Airlines.
Right.
And he goes, "Hey, we're letting the Ethiopian guy go first." I go, "There's a true airline pilot knows his
Color
logo,
schemes,
his
yeah.
color schemes." Because he thought the same thing, and I had never, I just said it to Mike when he first came in, so it was pretty funny.
That's funny.
So, yeah, but we got a great day again today. It's hard to believe the day we have been out there flying. You guys have just been at the flight line with the slow stick, getting it all dialed in.
Yeah,
Trying to get it dialed
that
in.
was some kind of fun. We had some really good, interesting. It's like the first time we went out there, we couldn't get it.
We couldn't get it to arm.
To
no matter
arm,
what,
yeah, it's
Mike's like, "Hey,
What is going on?
We can't get it to arm. He even back here on the bench, he armed it, got it to arm, and we walked out there and we couldn't get it to lock up, and we're like, "What the heck?"
You didn't arm it on the bench. You armed it just past the.
Without the prop, without the prop, we had to bind it. Bind it.
Oh, you bound it
Yeah,
here,
yeah, that's
armed
what he
it up
meant.
there.
That's
right?
what he means.
That's
Yeah.
what we did. Yes, exactly.
Thank you for clarifying
Yeah.
that.
So anyway,
Get yelled at later.
We're sitting there like scratching our heads, like, why isn't this working? Oh, I don't know. All right, let's go back to the bench. Let's figure it out over there. We get back and we couldn't get it to do anything. Took the prop off. We were super safe and had the fire extinguisher, and we couldn't figure out why it wasn't working. And
it turns out I looked down, and Jay has his radio and not the radio we bound it to.
Which
no
is
wonder.
your radio.
Yeah,
Which is
my
your
radio.
radio.
Did you try and bind it like 4 different times and it wasn't?
we were
working?
trying for like 20 minutes.
So model match check sat.
That's it.
Yes, it works.
It works.
Thank
It
you,
works.
Spectrum.
Yeah.
Not even model match, but radio match.
Yeah,
'Cause it
this
was-
is- yeah, this
Well,
was
that's the next level up. You got to get an IX20 for that.
yeah.
no, it's a DX18. I have that one.
Yeah,
It's 18, 20, they're kind of
It was
my
high
gosh.
end, but
the
yeah.
radio match works
Oh, my.
perfect. So,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Well,
So-
we also learned that you should have more than 2 rubber bands on the wing when flying.
Yeah, I saw it kinda
We
fluttering
discovered
up there.
VMAX for that particular wing.
Did you?
Yes,
Okay.
we did.
it was fluttering. I thought it was a little birdie. I was waiting for it to just fold up. But
I think it was going to try anyway.
it was fluttering pretty good there. I was just
Yeah.
kind of like, I told Ernie when I was standing over there, I was like, how long do you think my slow stick's going to stay in the air? 'Cause I just slap.
To Jay's credit, that thing was not trimmed very well.
Yeah,
and
I saw it.
Not
and
at
and
all.
so we
That's
and
why I made the little bet over here.
and it had some aft CG problems.
It
Yes.
looked like it.
on
yeah.
top of that.
On top of that, and so Jay was, he did a really good job of flying that thing.
I saw
honestly,
him.
getting it
Yeah.
right back to the ground. And so, yeah,
Pretty
so that's
spectacular.
awesome.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
we were
less
able to
is
fly it
more.
again.
I just said,
let go.
let go, and just said, take it.
Yeah.
Just sat there and it just.
and then it just started flying normal
Yep.
after he did that.
Well, because it's got a gyro in it. Did
It's
you
not
know
turned
that?
on.
But it wasn't even
It's
turned
not
on.
turned on.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
well.
yeah.
It's on.
It needs all of that control.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's only
Theoretically,
3
it is a gyro receiver,
Yeah.
but you have to turn it on.
Oh, okay. Well, there
And
you
none
go.
of that's set up. It's just.
We feel if we had the high end gyro on it, would have crashed.
Really? Well, I don't know. I might have another demon laying around. We could put
We
a
put that in Cortex in there.
$300 Cortex into a slow stick.
$35 model.
I'll tell you what, though, I might be able to be the one that's up there the longest, though, because that
you-
sucker would just be flying.
Oh yeah,
I'd just
for
let
sure.
go and come back an hour later. That's funny. Well, we've met some interesting people. I've seen some interesting airplanes. We're going to head back out to the flight line, but I think we've got welcome, and we're hoping you have a good time
Thanks.
there. So it's
Yeah,
good to have you.
Looking forward to it.
And how about back to the line?
All right.
Perfect.
Let's do it.
Thanks.
Good morning, folks. We're here with the Park Fire Podcast, and we've just started the second day of events.
That's true.
Beautiful Saturday morning.
I'm in shorts today, actually.
Yeah, I know. It's glaring. So anyway, the white balance in my eyes is kind of focusing out.
But, you got your sunglasses on, so that's helpful.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
Imagine.
It's blinding.
Well, there was one plane, as you guys know, we walk up and down the flight line and we check out all the beautiful planes, and there was one plane in particular that just caught my eye.
The big one.
Yes, the big one that's big and yellow and beautiful at the end of the runway.
I think I could fly in that. I mean, I think you could take me up there.
That's what everybody's saying. So we have with us Alan, and Alan's going to tell us all about his aircraft and a little bit about himself and how he came up with the concept of this.
Perfect. Alan, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Well, it kind of started as most of my projects. I was so enthused with that motor, the Rotomax 150.
Oh, right.
And I was so enthused that I bought that with the ESC and stuff like that. And I hung on to that for a couple months. I said, just put it on a stand or something like that, checking the power of it and everything. Just toying around with it. But then it came to the point that it says, wow, looks to me like a Cub would be about the right thing to do,
Well, that's not the wrong thing to do. I mean, you got that big of a motor, put it on a Cub.
I mean, it's not a hot shot by any means,
Right.
But it's just a slow flying, little regular scale type thing. So, and one thing led to another, and it took quite a while to get this the CG and then the balancing and placements and all that sort of stuff. But yeah.
So, did you hand build this model?
No. That's an ARF.
Oh, it's an ARF. No
Wow.
kidding. That size, huh? It's a quarter scale.
A half.
Oh, half scale.
I'm serious.
I can fly that.
Yeah,
half scale.
Yeah.
And who makes it?
That's
there you go.
Team Edge.
Team Edge.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Bill Hipple out there in Tucson.
Yep.
So
That's
if we
right.
see a Yorkie go running by, we should grab it.
We should.
Yeah.
I was just thinking there's a couple of babies around here. We could probably stuff those in there.
Or at least a critter or something.
Yes, that's a
rabbit or something.
Yeah,
That's like
a rabbit.
Little squirrel. That's what.
Coyote. I know I heard coyotes last night.
So where did you find this motor? You just kind of happened into it? You said you fell in love with it, but did you get a good deal on it?
Hobby King.
Hobby King got it. Okay. So it's a Hobby King motor, and you just said, wow, I got to have it.
Yeah. It does suck up the juice. My gosh, I can get up there and only fly for 4 minutes, and
what
that's
kind
it.
of batteries?
Really?
Oh, I've got 6 5,000s.
5,000 milliamp 6 cells?
5 cells.
5 cells. Holy smokes! So 6 of those.
So I got 4 5 cells and 2 4s.
Holy smokes!
So
that gives me the right amount.
So how are you doing? I mean, do you have them in series or parallel, series and parallel?
I've got the parallels in the 3, and then go to the series on the last.
So you're trying to get 6 volts, 8 volts. I mean, not 8 volts.
14.
14
volts,
cell.
yeah, 14 cell.
Okay, 14 cell. Okay, gotcha.
Wow.
Yeah, that's like a little car battery there. That's just amazing.
I
You
mean,
almost with it.
Figured it out, hooking it up and soldering, and blah, blah, blah with the batteries. And I'm sweating. I tell you, because, man, any little mistake or something like that, pow!
You're doing a little arc welding then.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hey, you're basically putting together a car battery. So
Make a mistake and you're seeing a blue spot for the rest of
I
the
know,
day.
right? Yeah. You're like, oh, what happened? Well, how big is that soldering iron, man? That thing must be massive. It's like a welding torch.
No. I went and got one of those good standard jobs.
Yeah?
It really had a lot of amperage to it.
Yeah, you need a lot of amperage to do those wires.
Yeah. It comes out to 58 volts.
Wow, 58 volts. Holy smokes! Do you have spark anti-spark connectors?
Well,
when you
it's got one of those, but somehow I made a wrong connection, and the little pods they went.
Oh, no kidding.
So I have to deal with it. Kind of scares you at first, but you get used to it. That snap when you get that thing in there.
Oh man,
I've been doing it enough. The shock doesn't hurt me.
Wow. I just came up with a new. I just came up with a new RC initiation thing.
There you go.
We'll just send them over here.
Send them over and let them plug it.
Just plug this in.
Holy smokes! Yeah, I imagine the first time I plugged that in, it probably jumped back. And there it just gives a big snap. But
yeah, I made a mistake on one battery doing that once, and it went pop blackened my whole phone.
Oh, that's Lord.
I mean, I didn't expect that much out of it. I've arced car batteries before, but this here with that extra voltage, it just What nuts?
Well, what is it? Voltage, the amperage kills.
It's the
or something?
amperage that kills you. It's not the voltage.
Well, the good news is that he's sitting right here still. So
That's right. He is
okay.
still with us.
That's right.
But he has
My
a really
thumb's all
thick
right.
callus between his thumb and his index fingers.
His thumb is twice the size of the rest of his fingers.
Huge
Really?
callus.
That
No
is
ED.
awesome. So, how many flights you have on this Cub?
Oh, what? They are probably less than 10.
Less than 10. All right. And are you flying it today?
Not me.
Oh. You got some other sucker flying.
I'm on very low Social Security,
Oh,
and
okay,
to
yeah,
get
yeah.
something like this going, I had to sell one of my motorcycles. Man, I had
Oh,
to
yeah.
sell things. Blah,
Wow.
blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So I'm not taking the chance because I'm not that proficient. I could fly it,
Gotcha.
but I'm not quite. So I've got a good friend of mine who's real good at that. So.
Perfect.
Fantastic.
Well, there you go. You're a builder and have your own personal pilot. That's
Yeah,
always a
that's
good thing.
So, Ellen, I got to ask, why did you want to go with electric with this as opposed to gas?
Because it's different.
Well,
I like
nothing wrong with that. We like
Now,
different.
that
You
sounds
know,
as American
that's-
as you can get.
That's true. It is.
Well, tell me, why'd you build this humongous hot rod? Because I could. To go fast, why wouldn't I?
Now,
I like that.
if I did have a DL 170 twin or something like that, I would put that in there.
Wow.
All right.
Just for the mere fact of the cost
Yeah.
Sure.
and running.
Yeah.
It's the initial part that's bugging me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
yeah, no
Gotcha.
doubt.
Well, I like that answer.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
no
How long
doubt.
have you been in the
In
hobby?
the hobby.
Right at 10 years.
Oh, really?
Really?
Years.
What got you started?
Same story.
What's that?
Yeah.
It was back there in 90, I think it was at 1998. I went into the hobby shop and seen this little Sato 90 twin.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
And I was like, yeah, that's cute. That's so neat. And it led to putting it in a Cub. Same story.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Because I'm
That seems-
fascinated with motors and stuff, so
Seems to be a recurring theme.
So,
It
so
is.
well, wait. Do you have any other planes besides Cubs?
oh yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe you just had a Cub treasury.
Yeah, one of each size.
Yeah,
Size, right.
museum.
Just
Of,
I got a 172nd,
I got-
170.
No, no,
yeah, yeah.
no,
That's not a
mine-
bad goal.
all the way up to a
all you
full
listeners
size.
out there,
quarter
would really
size
love to
and
see
half.
it if you had a Cub museum,
Yes,
starting
that's
from
right.
the smallest you could to
All the
this
way to the
size.
full size.
Yeah,
That's funny.
that'd be good.
Well, are you a pilot that you fly
Yeah.
large scale? Mm-hmm. Good. And you've flown
Just
Cubs
not
before?
this one.
Just not this one. I got it.
I just got
you haven't
10
tried
more
it?
pounds, and then I can get in
Yeah,
it.
you lose about 10 more pounds, you can fight in it, right?
But anyway, it is for sale,
Oh, no kidding.
and it's for sale with the trailer. It's
With
a
the trailer.
2012 Wells trailer, custom,
there you go.
custom made to haul it.
All the trailer.
Good for storage and shipping, but
Right on. So
Wow.
if you're
I got
listening,
the
you want
whole
the
thing.
You got the whole thing ready to go.
yeah, 3,200.
$3,200.
This includes all chargers, battery packs. It's a plug and play.
Wow.
Yeah, plug and play in the
So
shock.
that
and the
person
shock
who's
for
decided
free,
to
right?
take
You'll
up
throw the
this
shock in
challenge.
for free.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mike, this person who decided to take up the challenge of having this Cub museum,
Yeah.
we got your last one you've been missing.
That's right.
It's right
Exactly.
here.
It's for those of you guys.
Did you see how I kind of snuck that in there?
Yeah,
though?
I
Yeah,
saw
you're
that.
good.
This
There
is
you
a
go.
worldwide, so we'll get an email. We'll have to get your information, and we'll send you that.
Well, you got to make sure the announcer knows that it's for sale. So when it
Yes.
gets flown,
Yeah.
then they can
Everybody
say,
can
"Hey,
see it.
everybody,
Yeah,
this
that's
is for
actually-
sale. Come on
right.
down. We can work a deal out for you. Comes with blah blah blah."
Yeah,
blah.
but you know what? Murphy would come into play there.
Yeah, he probably would.
that's true.
Something happened. Oh.
Well, the better way to do it is to auction it off before you fly it. Then you already get the money. I can practice my auctioning skills. Yeah, let me find it. Sold.
And now to see what you bought. Crack 'em.
Right,
Oh,
exactly.
there you go.
So,
Let's take a limit. Sorry about that.
how long did it take you to put the thing together? I mean,
Well,
an
it's
hour,
just like
but
I was
mean,
telling
yeah.
him, it's not too long because when I get on a project, I'm on it.
Yeah.
There's no moss growing on me when I'm doing it, but I want to get it done. So I'm
Sure.
out in the shop and bang, bang, bang. And I think it took about a couple of days.
Couple of days. Wow.
But then from then on, you have to balance things out and
Right.
tinker it here and there.
Right. How did you do the weight and balance on
The
it?
CG in?
Yeah, the CG.
Oh, I got probably about 8 inches long and 5 inches wide and 3/4 of an inch thick steel plate.
Oh my gosh.
And that has to go in front. I find I have to almost do that with everything.
Yeah.
You know, especially I guess with the electric motor or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, they're a little lighter, and you don't have the gas in the back to kind of balance it out.
So the question is, how did you actually balance it?
I made up a rig for it. So
Did
I
you?
on the front of a plane, scoot it under and then pull back on it and lifts up.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
I won't tell you that I have a weight and balance set of pads that you didn't even have to touch it. You just set it on there, and it'll give you the digital.
Yeah, but then you
reading.
have to lift it, don't you?
No,
you
you
just
can
roll it
it
up
right
on
on
there.
there.
Oh, I see.
and everybody in the whole city of Arizona is using it other than me. I never get to use my own stuff because everybody else borrows it.
I hear
So
you. Yeah.
they're all like, "Hey, man," I offered to sell it to somebody, and it came preloaded with all their airplanes. So anyway, it was pretty fun. So, well, I'll tell you what, it is a beautiful airplane. We are excited to see it. Are you part of the noon show, or are you just gonna come out and fly it just with the rest of the group here?
I don't know.
I don't know. Huh?
I don't know what's going on.
We'll have to.
He's just flying by the seat of his pants.
Oh, there. That's a good way to fly,
Yeah.
Cub. Seat of your pants.
Yeah, Shell is around here somewhere, my pilot, but he came over with the rest of the group here to
right.
hear the instructions.
You know how it is
gotcha.
with pilots. The next day they go wandering.
You know what? With
off.
all these airplanes laying around, it's like a squirrel. You know, it's like a kid in a candy store. So.
Really?
I know I'm supposed to be doing something, but I forgot what it was. I'm too busy looking at all these airplanes. So. Well, we're excited, Alan, to watch you fly this thing. I can already see pictures being taken of it. It is a beautiful Cub, and it looks very scale. So they are giving an award away for the most scale flight, and I think that might be coming your way.
Yes, I'm going to predict maybe.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be nice.
You know, if Mike had gone back and got all that stuff for his, he'd be disappointed right now.
Yes, he would
Because he'd
be.
be looking at it like, oh, are you kidding me?
Right. So we have a guy over here that's got, you can see it, it's a big Cessna over here, and he won last year because he has a whole bunch of stuff that goes inside it for like a drug deal, Cessna thing. And he forgot that this year. The whole cockpit's missing, so he was all bummed out. But now that I see that your plane rolled in, I don't think he's going to be bummed anymore.
I
He's
agree.
like, "Phew, I didn't have to miss."
Dodge the bullet.
He dodged that bullet.
There's one thing I have to worry about is the black trim.
Oh yeah,
The sun plays havoc, because the black.
yeah.
And
absorbs
it took me an
First time
hour
living in
to
Arizona?
iron those things out.
Yeah.
I have a cover for it, but I just don't think it's enough to do any.
Yeah, I agree with you.
No, but we may be able to work a deal with you to bring it over to our booth here and just shove it into the shade. So that thing is amazing.
Yeah.
And I actually have to stay away from it, Alan, because I'm a compulsive buyer, and these two yahoos will probably talk me into that whole
He's
trailer
trying,
deal.
right now, he's working in his mind. He's like, what could I get rid of to just
Well,
get
at least maybe you
$3,200
best go
together?
over there and take a closer look here.
I like the way this man
I am
operates.
staying on this end because that thing is beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Thank
My wife would have a heart attack if I
She
brought
sure
that on.
would.
She sure would, yeah.
Yep.
So,
But like I say, what's neat is somebody says, "Where am I going to put it in my vehicle, or what am I going to store it in?" But that's what the trailer is.
yeah,
so
that's
neat.
right, the trailer. That's where I store my stuff, in my trailer. So, but yeah, that is amazing. Well, we are looking forward to the flight and for watching the sparks fly as you plug it in. That's always exciting. We appreciate you coming over and visiting with us. But that is an amazing, amazing aircraft. I wish
Thank you.
we'll definitely post some photos on our Facebook page. But man, thanks for joining us here at the podcast, and we hope you have a really good fun. Is this your first Electric Fest?
Second.
Second. Okay,
Yes,
so you're here last year as well.
Few years back.
Oh, a few years back. Okay, perfect. Well, thank you very much for joining us. We
Sure.
appreciate it. Thanks. Nice
You
to
bet.
meet you. Well, welcome back to the Park Flyer Podcast. With us is Jason Doran with APower Batteries.
Zap.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Great to be here.
Well, you're local here in Arizona.
Yep.
And this is your first time selling batteries here at this event. Why don't you bring us up to speed on business and how that's going?
Sure. So we're actually new to Arizona.
Oh, okay.
We moved here from Wisconsin about
that's right.
6 months ago, 7 months
Wow.
ago. I know, right? So we're loving this. This is gorgeous.
Oh, yeah.
So we live in the West Valley, and we set up our businesses over there in the West Valley in Goodyear area. This year we brought our APower batteries to market, and things have been, phenomenal. We are really, reaching out and, ground roots, kind of, emphasizing why we brought our batteries to market to begin
Sure.
with, and it's been good. We had a really good reception here. Yesterday has been great. Today,
Perfect.
A lot of people coming by, and so we've been really good.
Excellent. Well, they're really good batteries. I own a couple, so they're really, really good.
True.
Jason flies out at our field, so he kind of introduced us to them. And they are, what's the sizes range from where to where?
So really, our cells start at like 1,300,
Okay.
and we go up to about 22,000.
Wow.
Yeah, so we got everything for
I
the
think we
big
could
guys.
probably buy
For the big guys,
We
you
could
know.
probably buy those for the paramotor.
Yeah, for the
Yeah.
the electric paramotor.
Electric paramotor, that's right. He's a paramotor
Absolutely.
guy, and he could throw those on his backpack.
Absolutely.
It's funny.
Yeah.
So. Now, how did you kind of get into the battery business? Because you that's not what your main business is, right?
It's not, no. So I own ZDZ Engines USA also.
Right.
So really we had a lot of big airplanes. And the goal was let's find, the actual manufacturers who actually take the raw lithium and turn it into a battery cell so we
Right.
can find something that was reliable for our own use.
Sure.
And that's really, about 3 years ago, we set out on a mission to just have a better battery, a more reliable setup for our own use. And then we started sharing it with friends and family, and pretty soon it got out there all over, and our team pilots started using them from ZDZ Engines USA, and one thing led to another, and they're like, hey, you just got to bring these out to the market, So, that's where we're at right now, and just in the beginning stages of it. So,
All right, and they're regular lipos, but you have a graphene line as well.
yeah, we do. We have both actually. We started with our raw lithium material and created our lipo brand, and then we also transitioned a little bit into the graphene series also, which are pretty phenomenal. That technology's taken off lately. So
Yeah. So the three of us have always had this big discussion on C rating.
C rating, yep.
And it seems that we have looked everywhere. Jay and I had this discussion for hours one night till late at night. That there's no regulation on what the battery manufacturers can put on as a C rating, because we go from 10C, 15C, which we can check with an IR meter that Mike has.
Sure.
But then when it gets up into that 50 to 75 to 100, 120C batteries, it still says 40C on the IRR meter. So I'm not really sure how that works. Maybe you can bring us up to speed if you...
Sure. That's a good question, actually. And that was one that, kind of stuck with me, too. I was like, at the beginning, before we got into this, it was like, do we spend $200 on a battery that says it's this?
Right.
And the label's really cool?
Right.
Or do we spend, say $75 and, where do we fall in there? What do we get? What's behind the label? What's actually inside of the pack that makes it something special?
Sure.
So I'll tell you a little bit about what we did and what we realized and how we got to where we're at. First of all, our focus was to, again, get to the raw lithium manufacturers to actually take and refine that lithium and turn it into a cell. So what we found was that most every brand that we've ever used or ever tried or ever tested, and talking with the three main manufacturers, found that the percentage of raw lithium was always tainted a little bit, 1%, 2%, 3%. So you're getting something that was like 96 to 98% pure raw lithium. Well, that wasn't good enough, and that's where the failures always happen. So we started, our brand by asking the three manufacturers, first of all, which one of you will manufacture and, produce actual 100% pure raw lithium material. So that was the beginning, and only one of them said that they would do that for us because it's labor intensive, and
Do they have to filter it out or something?
Yeah,
or?
well, there's a process to it.
Gotcha.
But it's obviously more time consuming, and to get 100% pure, perfect product,
Right.
there's a little more cost to it. But that's what we wanted to do. I didn't really care about the cost of it to begin with. When we first started, I just wanted something reliable, which I think most of us out here probably just want something that's super reliable.
Yeah, I want to be able to use it more than once.
Absolutely.
I don't want it to puff. And
Right.
and I want something that I can recharge and just use over and over and over again without it just tapering off.
Yeah, absolutely. Longevity, when you start with raw, pure, 100% pure lithium, and you create your cells off of that, you have something that is obviously perfect in nature, that, little inconspicuencies with 1% here, 2% there that's not perfect. Those actually, may not show right away, but they show up down the road when you all of a sudden have a battery that fails for no apparent reason. Well, there's an apparent reason. It's imperfections, impurities within that raw lithium.
Right.
So that's a big deal. And then we went ahead and wanted to get a really good, true, low IR, cool operating, cool discharge type of a cell. And we added a little bit more thickness to our nickel plate, which actually helps, with internal resistance in a dramatic way. Pure raw lithium, larger nickel plate, better, thicker, wider welds. Is really kind of how we came up with the pack that we have right now, and it's been really, really, really good. We got thousands and thousands and thousands of them out there, and I've seen only issues of maybe somebody dropping something or, very little.
Right.
And that's, I'm not saying that they're 100% perfect. I don't think anybody could say anything about, any battery is 100% perfect. They're all going to have, they're made to wear out eventually. Nothing's perfect. But we just strive to have perfection as close as we can. That's where we're at.
So how do they come about and assign the C rating?
Really it depends on, the aim the manufacturer is going for, and, do they have a true 40C rating and they put that on their label and you check it with a meter? Does it come out to be true 40C?
Or is it the peak that the thing can do for 1.5 seconds? It can make 40, but it's sitting down at 20.
So if you notice that, there's usually like a variable. It's like it's a 50C to 100C or 50C to 90C. Well, what exactly does that mean? So we try to shoot for as close to true accuracy of a C rating as possible. And again, it's not possible to be 100% accurate in measuring that, even with the best equipment we have to measure it. There is variables in temperature and lots of different things. So, but we really try to shoot for, what we put on our label is accurate. Like if our 50C battery comes in at 50C, our 60C battery is going to be right at 60C or close to it, as close as you can get to actually meeting those C ratings as possible. But there's definitely some overinflated numbers out there.
They take a little bit of liberty.
It does.
With the, what their peak, their theoretical peak is.
For sure.
And they put that down, but really it's a lot lower. And like you said, I put it on my system. Poof, why is the battery all puffed? It's brand new, and I just puffed it.
Right.
What the heck? It should, I did my calculations.
Right.
I was well under the peak of the battery or what I'm capable of doing.
Right.
Well, we were discussing because we didn't know if there was some mathematical formula that they actually.
There is actually some mathematical formulas out there, which were introduced into a piece of technology that most of the people in the battery industry use to measure and regulate and check IR and C ratings and all that kind of stuff. But there is a formula for it. I didn't create the formula, so I'm not going to explain.
Right, fine.
But
no, it just was one of those things. It's always been a big, a big question of us, and we do have people that have come, into the hobby and go, "This is a big, fake. They're trying to rip you off, kind of thing." And and like I said, I've used your batteries. I've used other brands that were similar to yours, probably came out of the same factory, and I've never had issues with them. But other brands I've had just horrible luck with. I mean, you plug them in, you got them for about 3 or 4 weeks, and then you're dushed on. And I fly my batteries pretty hard.
Right.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, and I don't think any of us really treat them how they're supposed to be.
No, probably not.
I've left batteries fully charged for months, even years. Actually, we have a 50C 6000 pack that we charged up almost 3 years ago, and I checked it because I have a date written on it.
Yeah.
And it's still fully charged.
Really?
I mean, it's not at 100%.
Right.
It's tapered down to like close to 90%. But that's pretty good for being sitting there blank doing nothing for nearly 3 years.
Right.
And
now if you flew that battery, would it charge back to 100 or would it only charge back to? Because I've heard that too, right? That it only charges up to that 93% or whatever.
Yeah, no, I mean, we haven't had any issues like that. We've tested our batteries over the last 3 years under similar circumstances. We've left batteries, fully charged and let them sit for 6 months, a year, and we throw them in something and fly it, and then we check it, and then we test it, and then we see, and then we take where the readings are there, and then we charge it back up and see what the capacity is, and we haven't had any issues with anything like that.
So a couple other questions since we're on the battery thing, and you're the expert, is now I fly my big batteries, my 5,000 milliamp, then I bring them right to a storage charge when I'm done. Should I store, and I'll be honest, I store them in a refrigerator, but at a very low, just a cool setting because it's very hot here. But I know other guys that are like, no, don't do that. It's better to stay at a room temperature. Or, but what is the right way to do it, or is there?
Well, I think when lithium first came onto the market, with all of the impurities in the lithium itself, it seemed like there was a point of cool, keeping everything cool. It seemed to be the best way to store the batteries. Honestly, now I wouldn't leave it out in 100-degree temperature, but
Right.
room temperature between say 65 and 85 is really mainstay, and I don't think there's any issues with that.
So is that just more of a need, or is that like could you put it in your refrigerator and still wouldn't impact it?
I don't think it would matter at all. I think
I
it
haven't
used
had
to
anything
be.
impact mine, so.
Yeah, I mean, I think it used to be. I mean, and we have guys all the time, flying back from Wisconsin. We fly the winter,
Right.
and it's cold. I think it's actually harder on a battery to use it in cold temperature and charging in cold temperature versus
That makes sense.
Yeah,
Right.
so.
Well, these guys are Alaska guys, so they know all about cold temperatures.
That's awesome.
So, and then the other big question I had is the discharging, because I read some manufacturers that'll say, okay, fill a bucket full of water, salt water, throw it in there, leave it for a month, come back and destroy it. Other guys say put an LED on it, let it trickle down. Is there a right way, a wrong way? What would you suggest, or at least for your batteries after their lifespan's over? What do you do to dispose?
Yeah, well, what we do is actually we like to collect our batteries and get them back, and then we would discharge them ourselves.
That makes sense.
Just when you're dropping below there could be issues. Somebody might not get all the cells peaked. We would just want to be able to take care of it. So we actually will take those batteries back. If somebody orders a new battery, we'll take that and ship that other battery back to us.
No kidding.
Is there anything reusable on those?
No, we don't reuse them. Actually, we recycle it 100%. So.
Oh, no kidding. Well, there you go.
Well, when you say recycle it, that usually means it's somewhere back in the stream. What is it? What does that mean to you then?
So, we actually take the finished and used product discharge, and we will send that back to our factory in China. They disassemble the packs 100% completely, and they salvage all the different materials out of it, reshape it into a new product of some sort. Doesn't go back into our batteries, but they use it for a variety of different things.
Fill it for snack bars. I love those. They're delicious.
It's like when you go to the grocery store, and they're like, man, they gave me like 150 plastic bags. What am I going to do with all these bags? Pretty soon you got a cabinet at your house full of bags. Well, we, and there's a lot of grocery stores, they'll take them back, So we want to do the same thing. We want to respect the environment. We don't want people throwing them in the garbage. And,
now there goes my Alaska thing. I would just collect them and then go outside in my 30-06.
And blow them up.
And I know if I hit
fun.
Man, that was just the way to do it.
All right,
well,
don't do
too,
that.
Though.
Okay, I'll be responsible, I guess.
Yes. All right. Well, that's good news that your company takes them back. That's really great. So give us a big promotion for APower.
Thank you. That's the drum roll I've been looking for.
We can add all those sound effects later.
You guys are awesome. So we really strive to make the best product and make our product affordable for everybody. We want the guys who are spending $200 a battery to buy ours at $95 a battery. And we want the guys who are spending $70 a battery to just go up a little bit and get something reliable. Reliability was the key with our product. It's the only factor we were driven by originally, just because of our aircraft, and we didn't want any failures. And now we have some of the top guys in the entire world using our batteries. Because they know, because they've tried them and they trust them and they believe in it. And we stand by it 100%. If you ever have an issue, you come back to us. We take care of you.
Perfect. APower Batteries, and it's rcbatteriesusa.com, right?
That is correct. Our website should be up next month, and we're going to have great prices. Like I said, we top-of-the-line battery at the mid-range price point, so it makes it affordable for everybody. And, it's just an education thing to... You don't always know, I mean, a lot of the guys who fly the high-dollar, high-end batteries, they're not any happier, and a lot of them come to us,
Yeah, right. Well, we're excited. Like I said, I love mine. I absolutely, awesome. They run great, and since he's selling them here at the festival, I may come down and buy some more.
There you go.
Well, we really enjoy having guys like you in the hobby, and you do sell motors, right, for gas, and we're a Park Flyer podcast, but if you want to shout out to your motor guys, we'll take that too.
Yeah, absolutely. ZDZEnginesUSA.com. You got to check it out.
Perfect.
Awesome line of hand-built perfection in an aluminum case.
Yeah, I've seen him.
Perfection.
That's right.
He's actually flown out at my club, the Sun Valley Club, and they're pretty amazing motors. So, and you have some kids that are involved as well.
Yeah, we do. I have 4 boys, 1, 4, 10, and 13.
Nice.
And actually, believe it or not, The 4-year-old flies, 10-year-old flies, 13-year-old flies, and the one
He plays with the cars.
he plays around, but he watches. He's pointing. He's like, oh, airplane.
Yeah, he's their sales leader.
Yeah,
what that is.
Let's put it this way. He looks up at our ceiling fans. He goes, propeller.
There you go.
That's
Propeller.
right.
You got him
That's
trained
right.
early.
Oh, yeah. And my
Oh,
wife
good.
just commented, too, a couple of days ago because one of our neighbors came over and, you know, our little guy, Asher, he was like, hey, pop. And then she's like, what's he saying? And my wife, she's like, propeller. He's calling the fan a propeller. She goes, boy, you got this one hooked early.
That's right. Get him on the sticks. He'll be a champion before too long.
That's right. We love it.
Funny. We love it. Well, it's great to have you here in Arizona. Welcome. We are looking forward to having you around quite a bit. We will be big supporters here at the Park Flyer Podcast, and would love to have you on again. And we'll promote your product. It won't be a problem. But first electric festival for you, right? So
it is.
Have you enjoyed yourself so far?
First event for our APower batteries, and this first electric event we've ever been to with my family, and boys are loving it, and we're having a great time.
Well, good. Well, we'll let you get back to your booth, but APower Batteries.
Is it APower or APower?
APower.
Oh,
but AP we use as a brand, you know.
I got
it's short for it, but it's APower.
I heard him say APower, and I heard you say AP Power, so I was like,
I don't know. It's got a big AP on it, so I always say
That's
AP.
right.
Okay.
APower.
Kind of like you saying
Okay.
escape,
That's
huh?
Either way, you remember.
Either way. Well, Jason, thank you very much for joining us on the Park Flyer Podcast. We'll send everybody your way.
Pleasure.
Thank you,
Appreciate
sir.
it. Thanks,
Uh-huh.
guys.
Bye.
Take care.
You have been listening to the Park Flyer Podcast. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to your next visit. Please give our show a star rating and review, and feel free to email us your questions, topics, or suggestions to parkflyerpodcast@gmail.com.